Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news this morning. Police in Durham are investigating a crash that left a car turned over and on fire. Where the investigation is now focused.
And outside this morning, we still have our low humidity in place, but we're really going to start to heat back up. Many heat alerts across the country. We're going to talk about if we will see those coming up.
Crews search for a missing swimmer in Jordan Lake. The questions that remain after search efforts continued into the early morning hours.
And Hurricane Beryl continues to devastate the Caribbean this morning as the threats of that storm potentially affect parts of Texas. That is what is looming, depending on which direction that turns. I'm Jeff Hogan. It's good to have you with us here on our Wednesday morning.
And I'm Renee Chu. A very active hurricane season. And when you look at that, we're grateful for our quiet weather here. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione in the WRO Severe Weather Center. And today we start to turn things up, humidity and temperature wise.
Yeah, we're really going to start to see things change up for us. By the time we get into the weekend, those actual high temperatures getting close to, if not at triple digits once again. So good morning to all of you. Soak up the calm weather we have out there right now, kind of the relatively comfortable weather. Here's our North Hills camera. You can see everything's nice and still currently. There's a little bit of humidity, but it's certainly not going to be off the charts for us today. We're starting off at 71. Good morning to Raleigh, Durham, 67 in Rocky Mount. We're at 63 in Goldsboro, so about where we should be for this time of the year. Our muggy meter itself is in that tolerable category where you walk outside, it actually is pretty manageable. We will really start to bump that up. It's going to feel tropical by the time we get just after July 4th. 92 for us today into this afternoon. Should feel hot, but not super humid overall. We are tracking, though, that big time warm up for the 4th. We're going to go over just how high those temperatures climb and who could get close to records, guys, coming up here in a few.
Police in Durham, meantime, are investigating a crash that left a car on its roof in a wooded area. This happened on Denfield Street just before 1:30 this morning. This is video from the WRL Breaking News Tracker. We're working to learn more about what led up to this crash and if anyone was hurt.
The search for a missing swimmer at Jordan Lake lasted well into the early morning hours. Crews started their search after they got a call just before 9 last night. WRL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from Jordan Lake this morning. And Kelsey, this search comes after 2 drownings at Jordan Lake in recent weeks.
Renee, it does, and we're working to find out if crews have found that swimmer or if they will start their search again this morning. They were here at Jordan Lake until almost 1:30 this morning. But let's take you to video now from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker so you can see crews there searching. Their search lasted for more than 5 hours, and crews were dispatched around 8:45 last night. The search was focused on Martha's Chapel Road and Farrington Road. Take a listen to radio traffic from when crews were dispatched.
Hispanic male, possibly 52 years of age. Calling will flag down the first responders. Advise a lot of cars are parked on the side of the roadway. Same has possibly been in the water for over 20 minutes.
And we did report about 2 other drownings here at Jordan Lake since late May. So this is just a reminder this morning to be safe out on the water as we head into the 4th. We'll be sure to keep you updated on this investigation. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live at Jordan Lake.
Today, you should prepare for traffic delays. AAA expects it to be the most crowded day on the roads with people headed to their Independence Day destinations. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live this morning in Raleigh. And Laura, if people want to avoid traffic, it would be best to leave early.
Yes, start making those travel plans for today. Right now, if you could, pack those bags and begin heading out. Listen to this. AAA says more than 2.2 million North Carolinians will travel 50 miles or more away from home. And of that number, 1.9 billion will do so by vehicle. That's nearly 2 million vehicles on the road. So yes, drivers can expect heavy traffic and congestion this year. AAA predicts we'll have more than 100,000 more drivers this holiday compared to last year. The holiday travel period was extended this year with more people working remotely, and more people started leaving for their destinations earlier this year with plans to extend that trip and vacation through this weekend. For those with schedules not as flexible, here's some advice on when to head out for that trip today.
Avoiding just rush hour times, avoiding those peak times. We're talking about, between 3 and 5, 3 and 6. If your travel plans allow you to leave earlier in the morning or late in the evening, that's when you're going to experience the least amount of congestion during this travel period, although it's still going to be crowded out there.
And some good news here that your trip will likely be a little bit cheaper compared to last year with the gas prices. Gas Buddy says that on the 4th of July, tomorrow, the national average price of gasoline will be $3.49, so $3.49. That's the cheapest it's been for the 4th of July since 2021. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Also, if you're traveling by air, be prepared for long lines at RDU. More than 5.5 million Americans are predicted to be flying this week. Right now, there are 6 delays, 0 cancellations so far this morning. RDU officials are reminding people arrive 2 to 3 hours before departure time and book your parking spot early.
A driver who led state troopers on a multi-county high-speed chase is in the hospital this morning. Yesterday afternoon, troopers tried to stop a black Jeep Trackhawk for speeding and reckless driving over on I-95 near the Johnston and Wilson County line. That's when the driver led troopers on a chase, reaching speeds of 160 miles per hour. Nash County deputies stepped in and deployed stop sticks. The Jeep then lost control, hit a guardrail, and overturned. The male driver and female passenger were hurt but are expected to live. State troopers say the driver had a remote control registration plate that he used to switch between a South Carolina and Maryland plate. The driver faces numerous charges.
Today, Hurricane Beryl is moving toward Jamaica. Beryl remains a very strong Category 4 storm. The storm has already left 7 people dead, and it's already the strongest storm ever recorded in the Atlantic in the month of June. Yesterday, it became the strongest ever recorded in July. National Hurricane Center is forecasting life-threatening storm surge in Jamaica. Government officials there are urging people to stock up on food, water, and batteries. Hundreds of people who are evacuating the island arrived at Fort Lauderdale Airport last night. Airlines adjusted their schedules to help as many people as possible get out.
An FBI agent and 3 Fayetteville police officers are on administrative leave after a shootout that left a man dead. The scene unfolded while officers were trying to serve a warrant for first-degree murder on Ivanhoe Court near Morganton Road. In video obtained by WRAL, an officer is heard ordering the man to put a gun down. Then there's an exchange of gunfire between the man and officers. There's a pause for a moment when the man hits the ground. Then more gunfire from officers after the man appears to move. We are actively working to find out the name of the man who was killed and what the next steps are in this investigation.
An 84-year-old man is in the hospital after crashing his small plane in North Carolina. This happened just to our west at Lexington Airport around 8 last night. Troopers say the plane crashed while trying to take off. The plane never got off the ground. It flipped over right at the end of the runway. The pilot was pinned inside and may have suffered a head injury. The FAA is investigating. Today, President Joe Biden will meet with a group of Democratic governors as concerns about his status in the presidential race grow. Sources say some governors have been pushing for this meeting. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz organized a governors-only call on Monday after last week's debate. A source says governors are reluctant to go public with their concerns because they don't want Biden to dig in further. There is no word on whether Governor Roy Cooper is expected to be on today's call.
Only on WRAL, a devoted dad is on a mission to help the police find his son's killer. Raleigh police say this man, Ernesto Torres, stabbed 32-year-old Aaron Heath. Heath later died from his injuries. His father, Cato Muhammad, says he was a loving son. Muhammad also talked with people near the scene, asking if they knew what happened to his son.
It hurts me bad, man. It breaks my heart to know this is where my son bled out. He took his last breath right there.
Muhammad says he's working to offer an award for the arrest of Torres.
Former President Donald Trump's sentencing in his hush money case is now on hold. Trump was scheduled to be sentenced July 11th. Now the judge has postponed it to September 18th. Trump's defense team is challenging the guilty verdict after the Supreme Court ruled ex-presidents are entitled to presumptive immunity for official acts.
Family and friends of a Chicago woman who disappeared after visiting a retreat in the Bahamas are pushing for answers.
We're just really concerned that she not drop off the map, and that the authorities do their very, very best to find her.
Coming up, what evidence investigators have found so far as the search for Taylor Casey enters its second week.
Plus, an intense water rescue caught on camera and the warning from lifeguards ahead of this holiday weekend.
And this is a live look at North Hills. Today, temperatures will be in the 90s as we head toward a very hot weekend. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will tell us how long we will deal. Anthony Baglione is here. Will tell us how long we'll deal with triple-digit temperatures.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
Welcome back. Time now is just about 4:43 here on this Wednesday morning, where we are starting off actually decently calm. You walk outside, it doesn't feel too bad for where we will start to heat up here into the next couple of days. We're in the upper 60s and low 70s for the majority of us. Couple low 60s, though, to the north. South Hill, good morning to you, is checking in at 62. Region-wide, so if you're getting your travel started today, a lot of people hitting the roads. Check out 59 there in Boone. The mountains are feeling great this morning. 67 in Fayetteville. Along the coast, we're mainly in the low to mid 70s. We really don't start to see a big time warm up until we get into probably tomorrow and especially our Friday here heading into the weekend. There's a look across the region, though, as is typical this time of the year. Couple spotty showers as you get closer to Florida. 89 there in Miami. We are going to be warmer than that at 90.
Anthony, thanks. A family is pleading for answers after a Chicago woman disappeared after attending a yoga retreat in the Bahamas. 41-year-old Taylor Casey was last seen at a Paradise Island yoga retreat on June 19th. Officials at the retreat reported her missing the next day. Police then found her phone in the ocean. Her journal and other personal items were found, but police say they have not found her passport. The news comes as a shock to her family and friends back in Chicago.
I want all of Chicago, all the world to know that she is very loved and is a wonderful person. That her disappearance is very unlike her. She's not one to just, to disappear.
Bahamian authorities say they've deployed drivers, drones, tracking dogs in its ongoing search. The U.S. State Department is also involved in the investigation.
Good morning, I'm Chris Levinga in the WRAL Live Center. I want to show you some video from overnight. This is in Pittsboro, and you'll see the smoke that was recorded in this video coming from this building, some kind of warehouse of some sort, but you'll see it billowing into the sky here on your screen. This happened on US 15501 around 8 o'clock last night is when the call went out. It's not quite clear what caused this fire, but we do know that it was under control in about 30 minutes time. Fire crews were there for quite a bit, though, and Pittsboro Fire responded to this and assisted by other different fire departments. So we'll be waiting to hear today for more specifics in terms of what caused this fire in Pittsboro.
Another fire, a wildfire burning near the North Carolina coast, is now 95% contained. That's good news. This blaze in Carteret County started 2 weeks ago. Forest Service says it's burned 545 acres. Investigators say a county commissioner there is responsible for setting the fire. They say Chris Chadwick set a debris fire. It got out of control and at one point threatened nearby homes.
2 puppies are recovering after being abandoned outside a vacant home in Raleigh. A rescue facility tells us 3 puppies were left outside in the heat. They were stuck inside a crate while temperatures outside hit the upper 90s last week, and one of them sadly died.
With how skinny and emaciated they were probably in there for several days, and they were in there during that heat wave that we had with no food and no water.
Just awful. The 2 surviving puppies are now living with a foster family, and we're told they're slowly gaining weight. Look at how emaciated they were. They will stay with the foster family until they are well enough to find permanent homes. You can help support the shelter or learn more about fostering and adopting on WRAL.com.
Alaska's Juneau ice field is melting and fast. According to a new study, the melting is accelerating and is now shrinking 5 times faster compared to several decades ago. It's melting so fast the flow of ice into water is averaging about 50,000 gallons every second. Scientists say climate change is to blame. A warming planet is creating longer summers and shorter winters.
As many people head to the coast for the holiday weekend, it's a good time to remind you to be aware of the danger of rip currents. Take a look at this water rescue that happened in Ocean City, New Jersey over the weekend. Lifeguards jumped into action to save 9 people swept out by rip currents. A family of 4 fell off a jetty, and then Good Samaritans tried to help, causing them to get pulled offshore as well from those rip currents. Thankfully, all of them were rescued and all are okay.
You can help the Cape Fear Valley Blood Donor Center at a drive today in Fayetteville. It's happening at the offices of Village Green from 10 to 2. It's on Fordham Drive. All donors will get a 60-minute game pass to main event at Cross Creek Mall, as well as a movie ticket. You'll also be entered to win a $500 Visa gift card.
It is 4:48, and the last 2 days, the drop in humidity has felt wonderful, and now the muggy meter is starting to, the needle's going to move once again. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with our feels like temperatures.
Yeah, we knew it wouldn't last here with summer in North Carolina. I walked outside, of course, and it felt so nice here the past couple of days. That humidity is going to start to ramp back up, mainly as we get into tomorrow and especially for the weekend. It will be noticeable. We look at, though, today, our actual air temperature forecast on the left, the feels like value in that right column. It's going to feel basically like that actual air temperature in the low 90s, so not a bad summer day. We really start to crank that up tomorrow. 103, the feels like temperatures for July 4th. 109 on Friday. We could see heat advisories, and we've been through it here the past little while. We could see those come out again here into the weekend. Where we sit currently across the area, we're at 71 here across the triangle, 63 in Roxborough, 67 Rocky Mount, 68 in Clinton. It comes with a little bit of humidity, but it is not off the charts. You'll walk outside, and it actually is a decent start here this morning. We climb quickly, though. Right about lunchtime, we're at 87, 92 at 3 o'clock. A mix of sun and clouds, no rain expected. You can head outside, enjoy, get ready for those 4th of July festivities, and it should be a great day for that. Keep in mind, if you are headed to the coast, here's a look at our rip current threat. Basically, along all of our beaches, we are seeing moderate rip current threats, so it's just one step below, of course, the highest category. Anytime we have those, though, I want to make sure that you're well aware of that, so pay attention very closely to those flags out there. We look at our muggy meter, though. This is the big telltale as we head through the summertime months. Today, it's going to feel nice, even in that comfortable category. We really start to go back up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You will be feeling it. So as we get ready to head into the weekend, maybe you have some kind of leftover July 4th parties or something like that. The air conditioning is going to be very much needed into the weekend. Rain chances, though, we still could use some. We're going to be seeing those kind of stick with us. Tomorrow, there's about a 20% chance, very minimal at best, but just a slight chance of a storm. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, especially this weekend, scattered storms are going to be possible for us, not total washout conditions. We look at the tropics, though, where many spots are talking about washout conditions. Here's the latest on Hurricane Beryl. This storm has just been incredible to watch here as it continues to unfortunately push closer to Jamaica right there. 145 mile per hour winds. We expect it to stay a very strong storm here at least for another day or so before it tries to weaken a little bit, but still taking that in there close to Mexico, close to Texas as a tropical storm right around the days after July 4th. Our forecast here at home, 98 tomorrow. We go to 100 on Friday, 99 Saturday, and then guys into next week. Still a little unsettled with rain chances, but we do see those highs back off a little bit.
Thanks, Anthony. Rock star Ann Wilson is talking about her health struggles. What she's revealing about her cancer diagnosis.
And Childish Gambino releases the name of his final album ahead of his world tour. It's been a historic year for NC State athletics. You know about the basketball and baseball teams, but what about the cheese rolling? A former NC State student has become a big timer in this sport. WRAL's Pat Welter hit the hills to find out how she's getting her roll on.
Abby Lampe is on a roll.
My friends are going to be like, what did you do today? I'm like, I rolled down a lot of hills.
The former NC State student is the two-time women's Cooper's Hill cheese rolling and wake champion.
My regard for my life is very little.
That's right. She's the best in the world at chasing cheese. How's that feel?
I'm a little dizzy.
She discovered the annual competition on YouTube and decided to make Gloucester, England a stop on a trip to Europe.
This is a double Gloucester wheel. It is about 8 pounds, 3.6 kilograms. It rolls down the hill at speeds of 70 miles per hour.
At Dorothea Dix Park in Raleigh, she put her engineering degree to use.
So 2 years ago, I practiced forward rolls and tumble rolls.
But nothing can really prepare you for this.
The first time I went down, I realized I was going sideways down the hill when the tree line started to shift. This year, I was bouncing a lot on the hill. So I was getting a lot of airtime, and people came up to me after. They're like, you got up 1.5 meters. I was like, I felt like I bounced a lot.
Victory never tasted so dry-aged.
It's very pungent. You have to have it with other things like jam spreads. Well, Pat, it's your turn now.
Abby, my wife is 9 months pregnant, and I promised her I could not go to the hospital before her.
But it's gonna be a good time.
All right, let's get cheesy. Oh my God. I'm going sideways. Woo. That welter. Woo. WRAL Sports. All right, that's a little bit too much dairy.
Not as much incline on that hill as in England, but Pat, good try. Wow, learning from the expert.
Still spinning, I feel like, right there. How do you, I guess it's, trial and error if you find out if you're good at that sport, right?
Yeah, thank goodness, she wasn't hurt, but people, break bones doing that.
Yeah.
So
2 times champ. That might be enough. Ann Wilson of the rock band Heart is revealing her battle with cancer. She announced her diagnosis in a post on social media, and she says she had the cancerous growth removed. She's now undergoing a course of preventive chemotherapy. The 74-year-old singer says she is taking the rest of the year off from touring so she can fully recover. She says she hopes to return to the stage in 2025.
Tonight, you can head out to Morrisville for a night of fireworks, food, and fun. The town is hosting its Red, White, Boom 4th of July event tonight. It's going on from 5 until 9 at Cedar Fort District Park. There will be live music, food trucks, games, and more. Bring the chairs, blankets, and there will be water stations set up at the park.
Childish Gambino is about to complete an era in his career. The rapper announced his final album under the Bando, Stone, and New World moniker will come out on July 19th. Gambino will be hitting the road for his New World tour. He'll perform at PNC Arena in Raleigh, August 30th.
Police in Durham are investigating a rollover crash that ended with the car catching fire. Where they're focusing the investigation this morning.
Plus, Hurricane Beryl is making its way towards Jamaica, leaving destruction behind in the Caribbean.